welcome to my channel, Queen of Diamonds. My name is Jenna. If you're new, I am so happy to have you here. I hope you'll stick around. And for those of you returning, welcome back and thank you for continuing to tune in and support my channel. I have a very great announcement to make to all of you. I've been waiting to share this news for so long. I found out about a month ago, a little over a month ago, that we are going to be having a new addition to our family. Kennedy and Joel are expecting a baby. Kennedy found out 3 days after we did our video with Kennedy and Joel, and we were teaching Joel to diamond paint. I'm so excited. I'm going to be a Nana. I can't tell you how excited I am. I've been able to go to 2 of her ultrasound appointments, and I'm just thrilled beyond belief. Anyway, we're so excited. That is part of the reason why we're moving. And I'll explain more when we get into the whip and chat portion of the video. I've been dying to share this news with all of you. I had to wait though until Joel had told all of his family, and he did that on Thanksgiving. So I was in the green to go ahead and tell you all with this whip and chat, and I'm so happy to finally be able to tell you. We don't know the gender yet, but we'll talk about that more as we do the whip and chat. Anyway, thank you for joining me for my whip and chat. For those of you who are new and don't know what the heck I'm talking about, WIP stands for work in progress, and chat means we're just going to chat and catch up. I've got some things to fill you in on since our last whip and chat. I feel like it's been forever, but it's really only been just a little bit over a week because I posted my whip and chat last week 1 day early. Yes, I posted it on Thanksgiving. So I recorded it a day earlier than I normally do. So that 1 day has made such a big difference. How is that possible? Anyway, let's get started on the whip and chat. I'm going to tell you what project I'll be working on. I will be working on a diamond painting, but you don't have to do a diamond painting. You can work on whatever you'd like. You can even listen to it as a podcast. You don't have to be crafting. You can listen while you're running errands or cleaning, whatever. But today I am working on Frosty Baby from Distracted by Diamonds. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. The artist is Anne-Laure Goupil. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Let me find the original artwork so I can show you a picture of it. It's so cute. I've only done one big section so far, so I still have a lot to do on this little guy. But let me show you. Where is it? Okay, here it is. That's our little snowman, Frosty Baby. Isn't that so cute? It is a, gosh, I don't have my stats written down. 45 by 45 centimeter, I do believe. And it's a round drill kit, and it has 39 colors. Oh, it's so cute. I can't wait to show you the finished product when it's all done. It's very confetti heavy. So the section that we're going to be working on will be confetti heavy. I may not be able to finish the entire section in this whip and chat, but we'll give it a shot. Let me show you all of my accessories, and then I'll change your angle so that you'll be looking down so that you can see what I'm doing as we're whipping and chatting. This is how I am storing the drills for Frosty Baby. I got this storage unit off of Amazon, and it's just this really convenient little plastic case that snaps in place. And I took out some of the containers just simply because I didn't need that many, and it makes it a little easier to grab them as I'm diamond painting when they're not completely full, because then they're tight and it makes it harder to get them out. Anyway, I'm just making sure there's not a glare because I know sometimes my camera picks up a glare. Okay, the tray I'm using is this snowman tray that I got last year from Yellow Dog Designs. Let It Snow. And for those of you who don't know, Yellow Dog Designs has closed, so you can't get these trays from Yellow Dog Designs anymore. And we are working with this pen from Bistro Exclusives. It's this cute snowman pen, and it's all white. Isn't that cute? It's actually not a snowman pen now that I'm looking at it. There is a snowman in there, but there's gnomes in it too. Isn't that pretty? I love that pen from Bistro Exclusives. I just noticed how sloppy I put this multi-placer in, but at this rate, with the way my life has just been going, I'm lucky I even have some time to sit down and diamond paint. Okay, the tweezers I'm using are these pink angled tweezers from Diamond Art Club. And then my trinket tray, oh my gosh, I can't remember where this trinket tray is from. I'll put it in the screen. I apologize. I can't remember where I got this, but I'll put the name of the shop in the screen. And then my cover minder is from Galloway's Gallery, this cute little snowman. I'm using PaddyWaxx or Distracted by Diamonds wax. This is called Yuletide Vibes. It smells so good. I just got that. And the putty I'm using in my multi-placer, because I use the wax in my single placer and putty in my multi-placer. This is from Creations Morin, and it's called 'Tis the Season. It smells so good. I got this last year. And the release paper I'm using are so cute. These are the Magic Snowmen release paper. I got these last year as well. I'm sure the design is still available on Bee's Crafty Corner, but I get mine cut in 4x4 sections or 10x10 centimeter sections. That's the size section I like to work out of. And then my WIP kit. This WIP kit is from Black Dahlia Diamond Art, as well as this. I have to remember to always point that out because it's back here, and I don't know if you all know where that's from, but that is also from Black Dahlia, this whole storage unit. I love it. Love it. And this is amazing. I don't know where I would be without my WIP kit, honestly. My washi tape is from Waterbugs Garden on Etsy. I'm going to link all of these shops in the description box of the video. I think we're covered. Let me just, yes, that's everything. That's it. All right, I'm going to change your angle so that you'll be facing down, and we'll get started on our WIP and chat. All right, I didn't show you where on the original artwork we are, but as you can see, the eyes of the snowman are right up here, and we're just at the bottom. This is just the very bottom row. So that is where I'm at. And okay, I just need to get organized a little bit. I'm so all over the place. It's just insane. All right. So first what I'm going to do is load up my pen with the putty and the wax. I'm going to bring my trinket tray over for this part so that I have a flat surface to load these on. We will do the wax first in the single placer end. I hope it's cleaned out. It is. Okay. And I'm going to just open this a little bit. Got to give it a smell. I love this scented putty and wax. I'm going to scrape my single placer against that wax and load it in there. And as you can see, it is, I just need to get rid of that little wax. It's loaded in the single placer really good. And then I'm going to press it against my fingernail to make sure that it is ready to go. I don't want to leave residue from the wax on my drills, so that's why I press it on my fingernail. You can press it also against whatever flat surface you're using. And then we're going to do the multi-placer with the putty. Okay. And for loading putty into your multi-placer, this multi-placer is from Diamond Art Club, by the way, I forgot to say that. This is one of their stainless steel multi-placers, which are so great. Anyway, to load putty into your multi-placer, you are going to take the multi-placer and press it down into the putty like you're cutting cookies with a cookie cutter. And I'm just going to wiggle it around. If you hear my dog barking, I don't even know what to say. He's been on a barking spree lately. And my girls left just a minute ago, even though it's really late at night. They went to go get a late night snack. I don't know. I don't know why, but they just came in and told me they were leaving. So he will go crazy when they come back in the house. So I'll try to edit that out. Don't want to disturb other people's pets and make them think that there is an animal around. Now, I feel like this one side is a little low on putty. So I think what I'm going to do, actually, I think it's okay. I'm just going to put a little bit more on that one side to make sure that it's going to grab my drills. There we go. Scrape the sides like that so you're not spilling wax or putty over onto the sides, because then you'll be picking up extra drills and nobody wants to be doing that. I'm going to put this putty back. Oh, that smells so good. It smells so... It's like a spicy, holiday spicy smell. I love it. All right, I'm going to turn on my light board and we can get started. I'm just adjusting a little bit here. Okay. Let me peel back my, oh my gosh. I'm working with a different shape of nails, a different length and a different shape. My mom got me a set of holiday nails. Aren't those pretty? She surprised me with those the other day. They have these little, I'm not sure how I feel about external decorations, but they're cute. They're really, really cute. And it was super nice of my mom. Okay. Oh, I've got drills on my tray. I'm just all over the place. I forgot to mention that I am using, okay. I'm using a trash pot from WendyKs Designs. Isn't this cute? I will link WendyKs in the description box of the video as well. Okay, we're ready. I just don't even know how, where to catch you up on, but I guess I'll just start with the baby. I mean, that is the biggest news ever. I just can't even tell you. So I'll tell you quickly how it all went down because it's kind of a cute story. Like I said, it was 3 days after we did that video of Joel and Kennedy and Joel's first time diamond painting. And about 3 days after that, I think it was 3 days because it was on a Wednesday. I was at work and Kennedy was home from work on her lunch break. And she had Sydney because Sydney was at home that day. And she had gone and gotten Sydney because Kennedy, when she was working, worked not too far from where Sydney goes to school and where my apartment is. So Kennedy stopped by and grabbed Sydney. Well, they came in and they were being all giggly and everything. And I didn't know what was going on. I was like, what is happening here? And they came in and Kennedy said, I've got to go to the bathroom. So she went into the other room and Sydney was hanging out with me. And I thought they were acting a little bit suspiciously, but I had no idea what was going on. I just thought that they were probably just giggling about, you know, Sydney meeting a boy or whatever, because she's kind of got a boy crush. I didn't know. So I just brushed it off as that. And I was diamond painting. You know, I'm sure Sid was either watching a movie or taking a nap. And a few minutes later, Kennedy came out of the bathroom and she was on the floor playing with Fallon or laying with him or whatever. And I was talking to her about something and all of a sudden she said, I'll be right back. And she took off and went into the bathroom again. And I'm like, okay. I was like mid-sentence. And she came out and she said, Mom. And she comes over to me and I said, what? And she goes, look. And she hands me a pregnancy test that's positive. And I just, I couldn't believe it. My first reaction was, whose pregnancy test is this? And she said, it's mine. And I said, no, it's not. Is this a joke? Are you playing a joke on me? Because it's not funny. Those are the first things that went through my mind. And she said, Mom, it's not a joke. I promise you. And she started crying. And that's when I knew that it was really for real. So she's crying. I start crying because that was right after I finally was able to get emotional, which is so funny. So I started crying. And anyway, it was just a very joyous moment that I will never, ever forget. I will never forget that. And I said, you haven't even told Joel yet? And she said, no, I'm telling him tonight. He's coming over and I'm going to tell him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I know before Joel does. And she said, it's okay, Mom. I'm going to tell him tonight. Because I felt bad. I'm like, I don't want him to hate me. And she said, no, it's fine. It'll be fine. So I guess it just kind of happened. I mean, I know that they weren't really planning on a baby, but Kennedy had told me during the summer that she thought she was not able to get pregnant. And I said, are you trying to? And she said, well, no. And I'm like, then why would you think that you can't? And she was like, well, I just, you know, I haven't been, she had stopped taking her birth control because it was messing with her hormones. And so she had stopped taking birth control. And I'm like, well, you're messing with fire by doing that. And she said, I know, but we've both decided that if it happens, it was meant to happen. And I said, well, that's a really big thing to think that about. And I said, you got to be ready for that. But anyway, that was in the summer. So it was kind of out of my mind at this point. I hadn't really been thinking about that too much because it was just a passing conversation. And so I just can't even tell you how excited I am. I'm thrilled beyond belief. And Joel has been amazing. So that is when everything went down with us moving in together. So when Joel came over that night and Kennedy told him about the baby, I was there late that night working, and Sydney was with me. And so they were in there for about a half an hour. And I heard them giggling and everything. Both of them were laughing. And so I looked at Sydney and I'm like, well, I guess he took the news well. And then Joel came out and said, Jenna, can you come in here for a minute? And I said, yeah. So I went into the bedroom and Sydney said, can I come too? And Joel said, yes, of course you can. So Sydney and I went in and Joel said, so I guess you know already. And I said, I do. And I was like, congratulations. I'm so excited, you know. And Joel just thanked me and he's like, I can't tell you how excited I am. This is going to be great. And he said, but I've been thinking for a while now, this has been on my mind. You guys are in a really small apartment. You don't have a lot of room. And he said, now this kind of seals the deal on my thought. And I said, what's your thought? And he said, what if we all move into a house together, because I'm going to be working a lot and Ken will be by herself. We're new parents and you guys need more space. And he's like, I was thinking about it anyway, but this way you can be here to help Kennedy and I won't have to worry about Ken. I can really focus on my job and my school. And I said, absolutely, I'm down for that. So you can hear my dog because I think my girls are coming back. Okay. Okay, I think he stopped for a minute, but I don't know if it'll last. Anyway, so he said, how would you feel about moving into a house? And I'm like, absolutely, I would. So that's what started the whole move-in together situation. And it's just been a wild ride ever since, just because trying to get all of us into a house and Kennedy losing her job, getting laid off and all of that. I mean, I can't be sure and we can't prove it, but I'm pretty certain that her pregnancy had something to do with her layoff. And it's unfortunate, but I think that's what happened. Anyway, like I said, we can't really prove it, but that's my thought. But yeah, so we are very excited and I can't wait for this little blessing to come into our lives. It's just been amazing. I have been able to go to a couple of Kennedy's ultrasound appointments. Well, she's going to a place where I don't know if it's just standard procedure now at every OB's office, but Kennedy is going to the same doctor's office, not the same doctor, but the same doctor's office that I went to when I had my two kids. Now, Kennedy was born in Indiana, so the other two were born here in Utah, and this is the office that I went to. And they do an ultrasound every time you go in, which is so nice because I was always so worried. I mean, I had had a couple of miscarriages, so I was always really concerned and wanted to make sure that everything was going well. But yeah, so she's going there, and so every time she goes in for her exams, they do an ultrasound. Now, Joel went to the first appointment, and then they've had two other appointments since then. I just can't tell you how blessed I feel. I'm just beyond excited for both of them, and it's been really an amazing thing to watch these two handle this. I just respect the heck out of Joel because he has just stepped right up, and he's so sweet to Kennedy. I mean, he always just spoils her anyway, but now that she's pregnant, he's kicked it up a notch, and it's just so fun to watch them together and watch all of this unfold. Now, we told my family, my parents, about 4 days after Kennedy told me, and she wanted to go into her doctor's appointment just to make sure everything was okay, because I guess, you know, you don't want to start telling people until you know that you're in the clear. And she was a little concerned about telling anybody for a while anyway. But she did start to tell people, and I was getting concerned that word was going to get back to my mom before we had a chance to tell her, and I didn't want my mom to feel like we were keeping anything from her. It didn't go well with my mom at first. She was a little bit upset. I'm turning on my portable heater because I took Fallon out a little while ago, and it's snowing, and he decided to romp through the snow, and I had my slippers on. I did not expect it to be snowing, and I didn't expect him to go on a full-fledged romp into the snow, but I couldn't stop him, so my feet got wet. I've changed my shoes and socks since then, but my feet are cold. So anyway, yeah, so I was able to go to the second appointment. So I was telling my mom. She was not real excited at first, and you got to understand that with my mom, she's very religious, and there's nothing wrong with that. I was raised religious. I have no issues with that. I want to make that clear. I'm somewhat religious, I'll be honest, and so are my kids. And my mom is just a very black and white type person, and she was very upset at the fact that they're not married. And she's come around, though. She's come around to the idea of this baby, and she's been amazing now. I knew that she would come around to it. It was just shocking at first, you know. So yeah, she was a little upset at first, you know, just kind of shocked. But then, like I said, she's come around. She's been great. I thought at first that Joel would never come back to my mom and dad's house after the initial telling, but he is now. Everything's fine. Yeah, so we're all very excited. The girls, my two girls, are really excited to be aunts, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. We went to the last ultrasound appointment. It was Monday, I believe, this past Monday. And Joel couldn't go, so Kennedy asked me if I could go. Now, when Kennedy asked me the first time, which was last month, I said, I don't want to go if Joel can go. And she said, well, he can't. He's working. And I said, as long as he can't go, because I don't want to, you know, be interfering. I want Joel to have that opportunity, obviously. And she said, well, he's working, and he told me that it was okay if you went. So we called him on the way to the appointment, and he said, Ken, is your mom with you? And I said, yes, I'm here. And he said, good, I don't want her to go by herself if she can have somebody go with her. So he was really good about it, and I felt better about that at that point. But anyway, so we went to this past doctor's appointment. I got distracted for a second. And everything is going really well, and they did a 3D image of that little baby, and I just can't believe how fast babies change. I have forgotten the last time we went, you couldn't even really tell what the baby was. You knew there was a baby there, but you couldn't really tell that it was a baby yet, right? Because it was just the very beginning. But now it's taken on the form of a baby, and it just seems even more real. I'm just so thrilled. And everything's going well. So she had a blood panel done that is going to tell the gender. And we're going to have a big gender reveal on December 13th, which is a Saturday. So how it's going to go down, and this is what's really exciting to me, they are going to get an email with the results of the blood panel that she had done on, I can't remember the name of the actual test, but there is a name. They're looking for all kinds of issues or problems that might be, you know, factors that might cause a problem or whatever. But they're also going to tell her the gender. So they're going to send her an email with the gender. And Kennedy is going to have me open the email and forward it to Joel's mom. So Joel's mom and I are the only ones who are going to know the gender of the baby. And then everyone will find out at the gender reveal, because Joel's mom and I, and then I think it's Joel's sister. There's one other person that is going to know because they're putting the whole gender reveal together. Joel's mom and I are just going to be kind of overseeing all the planning and everything. Anyway, we're very excited, and she's already picked out the theme of her gender reveal. I don't know if I should say anything about what she picked out for the theme. I'd have to ask her first, but anyway, I just can't wait. Everybody has their opinions about what she's going to have. Kennedy is dead set that she's having a boy. I'm thinking that it's a girl, but it could go either way. I mean, you know, who knows? I can't pretend to predict what the gender will be. And either way, I will just be thrilled beyond belief. I've never had a boy, so that will be fun if it's a boy. But if it's a girl, I've done a girl before, so I know kind of what to expect. But either way, I just can't tell you how thrilled we are. We're just excited. And to be able to live with these guys while they're experiencing parenthood, Kennedy, motherhood for Kennedy, but fatherhood for Joel, to be able to watch them as they're having their first experience with a baby is just going to be the most amazing experience ever. And I'm so thrilled that they are allowing us to be along for this experience. It's just going to be so fun. So she is due June 21st, and my birthday is July 1st. So I'm like, I think they're wrong about the due date. I think the due date is more like July 1st. And Kennedy, every time I say that, Kennedy's like, Mom, stop. It's not. But anyway, close enough to my birthday that I feel like it's going to be an amazing birthday present this year. So we are all excited about that. And this move is just, okay, let's talk about the move, because I am getting so super stressed out about this. In fact, I have had the worst stomach pain the last 2 days. Today wasn't nearly as bad as yesterday. Yesterday was bad. I could not even stand up. It's not a virus. It's not a stomach bug. It is stomach pain. And I'm pretty certain that it's stress-induced. And I think that it's also what I eat is contributing to it. It might be a form of heartburn or something. I'm not really sure because I'm not a doctor and I haven't been to a doctor, so I don't know the proper diagnosis, but it sounds to me like it is heartburn that is being inflamed by stress. That's what I think. And that's what my mom said yesterday when I was in so much pain. I said, I don't even know what I ate. And she said, Jenna, it's not what you ate. It is stress. She's like, you are stressed to the max. And I guess I am. I don't realize sometimes how much stress I'm under until I'm, like losing my mind. But, so I'm trying to be more aware of that. But right now, where it stands with the house, we are still trying to get that house that I told you about. And we've been trying to get this now for almost 3 weeks. The application process has been excruciating. We are trying to get, for those of you who don't know, we are trying to get into a rental because none of us are in a position to buy right now, and the housing market is crazy. So we're going to try to rent a home, and we found a house not far from where we live now, so Sydney wouldn't have to change schools again. She just got in this school. And it's a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And it checks all of our boxes. It does not have a fenced-in yard. That is the only drawback. The only con out of so many things that we've been looking for, that is fine. Like Joel especially was kind of bummed out about that. And I explained this to those of you who were watching my WIP and chat that day. But Joel was the only one who was a little bit skeptical about the yard situation because he has a German Shepherd. And that German Shepherd needs to have space, right? Fallon and I are used to the leash situation at this point, so that we wouldn't even need to adjust, because the only thing that's better now is I wouldn't be going up and down 3 flights of stairs every time he needs to go outside. I just literally walk outside. Do I still pick up the waste? Yes, obviously, but I'm used to that, so no big deal. I'm looking for one of my symbols. I need to put these symbols in the order I usually keep them in. Okay. So anyway, we have been trying to apply, and they use a rental agency. And I don't know if this is how it is everywhere, but here in Utah, the rental situation has become a very difficult situation because there are multiple rental agencies that list multiple different houses. And some of them require an application before they'll even show you a house. You can't even tour the house until you do the application. Well, every agency charges an application fee. Now, this particular agency that we went through, the application fee was only $40 an applicant. It's not $40 total. Every applicant on the application has to pay the $40. And you have to have anyone who's over 18 on the application. So we have 4 people on our application. Everything so far has been turned in, and they are processing our application, but they won't make a final decision until we finish our pet screening. And all of our pets are screened except for Ione and Fallon. Joel has even gotten Diesel completely screened. Now, the only things we're waiting for right now are ESA letters from the doctor for Fallon and Ione. We have everything on everybody else. For some reason, those ESA letters on Ione and Fallon got lost in the shuffle. So we went to the doctor's office where we get these ESA, where the ESA letter originated. For those of you who don't know what ESA is, it's emotional support animal, and it is different than a actually licensed therapy animal. This is just an emotional support animal. But you have to provide a letter stating that it is, in fact, emotional support animal. And so we lost those 2 letters somehow. I don't know how it happened, because we had them when we moved into this apartment. And the apartment complex, for some reason, doesn't have them on our file. So we had to put in a request for a release of medical records. And this is where things got crazy. So the doctor's office that we go to, it's a big clinic, multiple doctors are in this clinic. So it's not just a private practice doctor's office. They told us it would be 5 to 7 days before they could get the ESA letters. Now, with the holiday, they were not open on Friday after Thanksgiving. They were closed, and they were closed early on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, because we went to go pick up that form on Wednesday and they were not open. So we went back on Friday and they were closed again. And I was so upset. So we got the letter we got the release of information paperwork on Monday, and we turned it in first thing on Tuesday. So the letter is submitted, and we are now just waiting for them to print off 2 pieces of paper and give them to us. That's all we need. And it's been maddening because I raced to get everything else done, everything they have required. I raced and got it done. Last Saturday, I got Ione and Fallon were missing their vaccines. And so I ran and got their vaccines done. I don't know about Ione, but Fallon was due for a rabies anyway. So we got them both vaccinated on Saturday. Everybody else's shots and everything are up to date. It was just those 2. And Fallon has a doctor's appointment scheduled, but I didn't want to wait for the doctor's appointment to get that vaccination because I wanted to get our paperwork submitted. So I took them on Saturday and got that done. That was a costly endeavor. It was supposed to be an inexpensive, fast way to get your pet vaccinated. It was fast, but it was not inexpensive. I still saved money, though, because I didn't have to pay for an office visit at a vet. However, he is still going to an office visit, so I'll still be paying that. But anyway, it's been a learning process with this application. But on what really got my stress level up, and I kind of started losing my mind, I'll be honest, I was losing it on Wednesday. So what happened is I called the agency on Wednesday and I wanted to let them know because they had sent us an email telling us that they were still waiting on the ESA letters. So I contacted them on Wednesday and had a talk with them. And I said, look, here's the situation we're faced with. We have everything done. Everything is in. I have raced to get everything done. And I want to make sure that we are still in the running for this house. And she said, well, we do have an application that was approved ahead of yours. And I said, what? And she said, yeah, there was an application that was processed and approved on Friday. So the day after Thanksgiving, somebody submitted an application and got the application approved. So I said, so that property is no longer available. And she said, well, actually, the deal fell through because they can't meet the move-in date requirement. And I said, well, what's the move-in date requirement? And she said, they need to get somebody in there immediately. And I said, well, we want to get in there like yesterday. And she said, that might be the one thing that you have that will keep you in the running for this place. So she said, but you need to get your application completely submitted or we can't process anything. I mean, they can process it, but they can't approve it. So I said, the thing that is making me mad is that right now, everything that is left is out of my control with the ESA letters. So I explained how they said that it would take 5 to 7 days. And she said, well, there's really nothing I can do during those 5 to 7 days. You just need to get that letter into me as soon as you can. So then she said, and just so you know, there is another person submitting an application as well. So I'm like losing my mind on Wednesday. I could not sleep Wednesday night. I was a total basket case. I mean, my kids, I think Joel was like, who is this person? Because I was just getting so distraught. But Kennedy was really great. She calmly took me aside and said, Mom, you need to calm down and breathe. And she's like, you can't get this worked up about everything that's going on. And she said, if this house is meant for us, then it will work out. If it's not, we will find something better for our family. And she's like, just stop getting so freaked out about it. And I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. I'm like, I'm sorry. I apologized to all the kids. I apologized to Joel. I mean, I wasn't that bad, but I was getting there. And I just explained that I'm under a lot of stress with it being, this close to the holidays. And I just want to be in our house, in a house, I should say, whatever house it turns out to be. I want to be getting at least moved in soon because we're paying an extremely high rate at this apartment now because we went to month because our lease expired. So now we switched over to month. I'm paying almost $1,000 more than I was paying when we were on a contract. Crazy, right? But they do that because they don't want people to be on month to month. They want you to sign a contract. And just thinking about it starts making my heartburn build back up. So we've got to find a place, and we've got to find a place soon. But now we're stuck and we're kind of in limbo, waiting on something that is beyond my control. And that's the part that I'm struggling with, is we have done everything that we could possibly do. And now we're just playing the waiting game, waiting for these letters. And I was telling my mom today that it's maddening because what good is technology if you can't just click a button and print 2 documents? It's really not that hard. And my mom said, Jenna, because my mom's very familiar with this doctor's office also. All of my family uses this doctor's office. And my mom said, Jenna, I went and talked to them, and they said they get over 100 of those papers filled out almost daily. So she's like, you need to understand that they are printing off medical files for people all day long, and you have to just wait your turn. And I'm like, well, this really sucks. Like, my turn should be now. And my mom just kind of laughed and said, don't we all wish that it worked that way? But anyway, so It's true though. Every time I get worked up about it, I have to stop and think about what Kennedy and my kids have been saying. Just breathe. Something will turn up. We've done everything we can. Something's bound to come our way. We just have to be patient. But it's hard to be patient when you're paying so much now for the place that we're in. Could I move somewhere for a month or two? Well, yeah. I mean, I could. Do I want to do that? No. My mom doesn't have a room at her house, and it would be really a sticky situation moving in there and working there. I don't even know for sure that my employment would work if my address is the same as my aunt's address. I don't know how that works. But in any case, we're going to wait it out just a little bit longer and see how things go. And I'm just going to have faith that if we've done everything on our part, something's bound to happen. So anyway, one thing I've learned this week is just that, to not let myself get so worked up. But in the meantime, yeah, I'm having really bad heartburn and stomach pain. I'm worried about Fallon. I'm worried about this situation with our living stuff. I'm worried about a little bit of my, the financial end and how tight it's going to be right at Christmas. It wouldn't be this stressful, but it's this time of year, because I'm always stressed at this time of year anyway. And all of this just makes it a little bit harder. But I'm trying to remember, this is what I've learned this week. The important thing is that I have my family and we're all healthy and safe and happy, and I've got to remember that. It's not, Christmas is about joy. It's about giving. It's about being with family, in my opinion. I mean, that's what it is for me. Everybody has their own idea of what Christmas is. For me, it's about my family. And so I just truly need to remember, we have had some really hard Christmases in the past, really hard financially, but the girls and I always have a great Christmas. It always turns out great. We are not used to having big Christmases, but we always have a very fun time spending time with each other. And I need to remind myself that in my family, that is what it all boils down to, is that we enjoy each other's company and spending time together. And it is a special year this year because Kennedy and Joel are expecting. So I don't want my stress to affect their happiness, especially at this time. So anyway, we do have some really great things that I can look forward to right now. We've got the gender reveal coming up, and I'm really super excited about that. I will be finding out the gender in the next day or so. I can't wait. And my mom seems to think that I'm going to tell her, and I'm not. I'm not telling you, Mom. I can't tell anybody. I'm sworn to secrecy, and I can do it. I'm a good secret keeper. But yeah. So I'm going to have to keep that top-notch quiet for about a week and a half until the gender reveal. So that's going to be tricky. And I told Kennedy, because I already know that because I'm an airhead, I'll probably slip up once or twice and be like, oh, he's going to be so amazing. Oh, or she's going to be, this or that. But I'm like, you'll just have to wonder if I'm actually saying the actual gender or if I'm trying to trick you. And she goes, Mom, you're going to totally have me so confused. And I'm like, that's the point. You need to be confused until the actual gender reveal. I mean, I will try not to say anything at all, but I already refer to it as a male and female sometimes. It varies from day to day. So it's no big deal if I slip up once in a while and, whatever. But anyway, so, oh my gosh. Stomach's hurting right now. I'm having another flare up. So Pepto-Bismol has been my friend the last few days because of the heartburn. That's the only thing that seems to help. There is a pill that I can take when the flare up happens. I've found that iced tea makes my flare up worse, which is really sad because I love iced tea. I bought a jug of it from a fast food place called Raising Cane's. I don't know if everyone has Raising Cane's, but they have the best iced tea. But I found out today that that is increasing the flare-up, so I can't drink that for a while anyway. My mom thinks I need to lay off coffee, and I said, haha, fat chance of that happening, not laying off coffee. I need to at least have a little bit in the morning to get me going. But I noticed a big difference in my energy level today with not having iced tea. That was crazy. So we've got a lot going on in our lives, and I just can't believe it. Every once in a while, like, it hits me. And when I went to this last appointment and saw that 3D image of the little baby, oh my gosh, I just couldn't believe it. It's so cute. So anyway, let's see, updates on everybody. My dad is turning 85 tomorrow. Isn't that crazy? I cannot believe my dad is 85 years old. So he's going to be having a fun day tomorrow. We've got some fun things coming for him that we've ordered. And then Joel had his birthday today and turned 23. That was kind of fun. And yeah, so we've just been, Kennedy had a job interview today, and she has another one tomorrow. The one today she's considering taking. It would be part-time, and she'd be working on the weekends. And I said, are you going to want to work on the weekends? And she said, well, Mom, I'll tell you the truth. I kind of like being home during the day when you're here, and it's just fun. Like, we always have fun. And she said, I don't want to go back to work during the day when I'm missing out on that fun. And we do have fun. It's been very fun. So I said, well, don't let that stop you from getting a good job. And she said, no, it just makes me think, she's looking for part-time anyway. So she said, it just made me think that a weekend job might be okay to do. So I don't know. I mean, she can think about it, I guess, for a little bit and kind of stew with it. She kind of ran the idea by Joel today, and he just said, whatever makes you happy. You know, he's been great. So anyway, he recently just found a new job too. I think I mentioned that. And so he's been extremely busy training for that job. So, and getting enrolled in school and everything. It's been kind of a hectic schedule with those guys. He's working really long days. He's been gone. He used to get off work at 2 at the job that he was working. He would go in really early in the morning and then be done at 2. Well, now he's going early in the morning, but he's working until like 7 o'clock at night. Tonight he did manage to get off early because it's his birthday. So they let him off at 5. But anyway, so he came home and came to my mom and dad's house, and I said, are you hungry? And he said, I'm starving. So I said, we've got food. And so I warmed him up a plate, and then right after he ate, Allie came in. So it was perfect timing, and then we did birthday cake for him and for my dad. It's interesting because our December birthdays are crazy. So my oldest sister is December 2nd, my little brother is the 3rd, Joel is the 4th, and my dad is the 5th. Isn't that funny? I love it. Anyway, I have been, let's see, Fallon is doing really good. Today he's been a little bit off. He's been barking a lot more than normal today, and just doesn't seem to be quite himself. I hope everything's okay, but he runs around and plays still, so it's not like he's completely being weird. He's been coughing more, and I'm going to be really very anxious to hear what the vet has to say about how he's doing. So there's that. That's another source of my stress, I'm sure. Poor little guy. I just hate to see him struggling. I can't even think about that loss in my life. I just can't. So let's see. Other than that, I've been helping Kennedy take care of her guinea pigs because I don't know if she should be changing the cage. So I've been changing the cage. Joel's allergic to them, so he can't really help with it. He offers to, but I know how much it affects his allergies, so I don't want him doing that. So I've been changing their cage. Now, keep in mind, if you change a guinea pig's cage every day, I've stated this before, it takes a lot less time than if you change it weekly or whatever. We don't use bedding in our cages. We use fleece and waterproof mats. So we just wash everything. And is it a lot of laundry? Well, yeah, sometimes. I mean, I let mine go for about 2 days and then I wash it. So I'm not doing laundry every single day for these guys, but It is a lot of laundry, I suppose. I use a cheaper laundry detergent on their bedding than the laundry detergent that we all use. But it is what it is. It's cheaper than paying for the bedding, that's for sure. And less messy. And, you know, it's got to be better for the environment too, I would think. Anyway, they're doing good. My boys are so cute. I wanted to show Ken's girls, and I'll probably, oops, I just dropped my pen and spilled my drills. I'll probably do that when we move. Oh, you bringing him in?
He attacked my kitty.
Oh.
Like bad.
He's a little bit agitated today. Yeah. Poor guy. I think he's not feeling good. Thanks, Allie. He just went after Allie's cat. That is abnormal for him. Let me put him on my bed. Okay. Good boy. There you go, baby. The cats are doing good. I feel like I never really have any updates on the cats because they're always just, you know, hanging out. Cats are great that way. Let me make sure I got all of these. Oh, I didn't. So I still have not met Joel's dog Diesel. We need to introduce him and Fallon. We haven't done that yet, but we're trying to find time to do that. The next couple weekends are going to be, sorry, my yawn. The next couple of weekends are going to be kind of busy and hectic. It's going to be kind of crazy because we have a lot going on this weekend. We are going to a light parade at a place called Willard Bay. It is a man-made body of water. And when Keith and I were married and we had a boat, we would take our boat out on Willard Bay a lot because it's just a really nice, convenient place to go. And the water was a little more shallow than the bigger lakes or the bigger water bodies of water in Utah. So it would warm up a little bit more in the summertime, so the water wasn't as freezing cold. And we just liked the whole bay. I mean, it was just fun. Oh, here come my yawns. Anyway, so I found out, I don't know if this is the first year they do it or if they've done it in the past, but they do a big light parade that you can drive through. Not a light parade, it's like a light show, I guess, with Christmas lights. We really wanted to go down to Temple Square to see the lights down there. We haven't been down there for years. But my mom said, you know, how are we going to get 2 wheelchairs down there? Because we can't just go and leave my dad and my aunt. That's not nice. But I wanted to go with everybody. So we were looking forward to figuring out how to do that. But down in Salt Lake, you have to park. And then you have to walk forever to get to Temple Square. And then it's just always so crowded and it's freezing cold. And with wheelchairs, it's just very difficult to get around. So my mom said, you know, why don't we figure out another place that we can go to see lights, or we can drive down to Salt Lake. But you can't really get very close in a car when you go to the Salt Lake lights. So anyway, when I found out that they have this light show at Willard and that it's a stay in your car, now I'm getting too hot. It's a stay in your car type situation, which is ideal for our family. So you pay per car to go in and see all the lights, and it's on a reservoir, so it's really cool. I'm excited to go. So we're going to go Sunday and do that. That'll be really fun. And then we also have, I'm going to be doing some fun stuff with the kids to get ready for Christmas. Now, we're not putting up any decorations. One, we don't have room in our apartment for our tree. Our tree is too big. And I just don't have room even for a small tree. Our living room is just very scrunched. And there's no way to even make room for a tree. Now, if we get denied for this house or we end up losing the house to somebody else, and we know for sure that we're going to be here for Christmas, yeah, I'll figure out some way to put some kind of tree up. But where we think we could possibly be moving, it's just not worth the hassle of making room for it, putting it up, decorating, and taking it all back down to move. So for now, I'm not putting up any decorations. We're just going to play it by ear for a little bit and see how it goes. And then we'll change, we'll change depending on what ends up happening. But yeah, so we're just really scrunched for space. So it's just hard to put anything up. Anyway, so let's see. There was something else we were going to do, and now I can't think of what it is. Anyway, we've got a lot of things going on. So it'll be fun. Anyway, that's my update on everybody and everything, and my big exciting announcement. It's so fun. It's going to be a really exciting spring and summer, that's for sure. It'll be fun once we know the gender. I'm super excited about that. I haven't met Joel's family yet, but I'm excited to be working with his mom on this gender reveal and get to know her. That'll be fun. In the way of what else has been going on, let's see. We have been on a crumble kick, and it all kind of started with the outing that Sydney and I took a week or so ago. We went to Crumble for dessert after we went and ate, and we've just been, I've got to stop eating crumble. I didn't eat it at all today. Yesterday I just had a little piece of one of the cookies because I've just had this flare up, and I really have been very nervous to eat anything, honestly. So yeah, we went and got crumble, and Kennedy was craving crumble last night. So at about 8:30, Sydney and I went and got in the car and went to Crumble. She didn't know we were going. She had just said earlier in the day, "Do you guys have any crumble cookies left?" And I said, "No, they're all gone." And she's like, "Dang it, I was kind of craving one." So Sydney and I were kind of bored last night, and I said, "You want to go get a crumble cookie for Kennedy?" And she said, "Yeah, let's do it." And then I'm like, "No, I don't want to. It's so cold outside and I just got warm." And she convinced me to go. So we grabbed her a cookie and took it over to her. So that was fun. Let's see. As far as what I've been listening to, I have not watched anything. No, sorry. We had, Thanksgiving. I don't know where my mind is. So since we had our last WIP and chat, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. We had a really low-key, fun Thanksgiving. Allie and Sydney went up to their dad's for the entire day. That left me with Kennedy and Joel, and it was really sweet because Joel had said, "Well, I need to go to so-and-so's house," and Kennedy said, "I'm not leaving my mom alone on Thanksgiving." And I said, "You can go with Joel." And she said, "No, I'm not leaving you alone on a holiday." And I said, "It's really okay." And she said, "Mom, I'm not doing it." And I was like, "Okay." And Joel said, "I don't want her to leave you alone either. It's fine." So it wasn't his family. It was some of his friends that were getting together for a little Thanksgiving get together. So Kennedy stayed with me and we watched Stranger Things. Oh my gosh. It is so good. So good. And we watched the entire new part that they've put out. So they put out part of the season. There are 4 episodes, I believe. So 4 or 5. Anyway, I think there are 4. There are 4 episodes that they've released, and the rest will be released on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. Oh my goodness. If you haven't watched it yet, you need to watch it. That is all I'm going to say. So good. And the character development throughout this entire show has just been crazy good. I love a show with good character development. You know I do. It's just been amazing. So we binged that all day on Thursday after we had our Thanksgiving feast. We did ham and all of the traditional Thanksgiving sides. It was fun. Then we had butterscotch pie, which is a pie that I make for Kennedy. It's a tradition because she was born in Indiana, and that pie is a little memory of where she was born. And also it's a memory of her grandpa on her dad's side that passed away when she was really little. I mean, I think she was like 3 when he passed away. I did a butterscotch pie for him while Kennedy's dad and I were married. And so I've always kept that tradition of making a butterscotch pie in honor of him and for Kennedy. She didn't try it until a few years ago. And a few years ago, when she finally tried it, she's like, where has this been all my life? So this year I made it. And on Thanksgiving night when I was leaving, because I made my dinner over at my mom and dad's house, they went up to my sister's house in Midway, Utah. And the girls and I usually stay behind and make dinner. So this year was like that. So she and my dad and my aunt left, and I'm trying to find my symbol. Okay. The 3 of them left, and we made Thanksgiving dinner, and Joel did this amazing salad. It was so fun. And so then after we ate, that's when we just kind of vegged. But so when I was getting ready to leave and I was packing up to go, Kennedy said, don't forget the butterscotch pie. And I said, well, I thought I'd leave that here for you. And she said, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And she's like, I didn't want to ask if you'd leave it, but thank you. So I left it. And over the weekend, she had called and said, Mom, I love your butterscotch pie. I've been eating it all weekend. So I was really happy that she loves that now. And I said, good, I want my little grandbaby to know Indiana. And she said, well, I'm eating it. So anyway, it was fun. Then on Friday, what did we do? I can't even remember. Black Friday. Oh my gosh. Talk about a fun time. So on Thursday night, I was watching the live with Diamonds and Washi and Emeralds and Fairy Lights. So Lindsay and Katie. And I was just enjoying that live. And they go through all of the canvases and talk about all of the images and talk about their thoughts about each one of them. And it's very interesting to hear their thoughts because they are very knowledgeable. And so I was enjoying that. And then last year, this is exactly what happened. Keith called. So I got off the phone, or I got off of the live and went and talked to him. And he was just like, what's coming out tonight? And I said, I thought you were on a no-buy. And he said, I am, but I want to know what to expect. And it was about 30 minutes before everything was going to go live. So I told him, I'm like, there's 111 canvases coming out this year. And he said, 111? And I'm like, yeah. So we talked about that. And I told him about some of the ones that I thought he would really like. Well, he asked me which ones I liked. And so I had told him. And then I said, but I'm trying to be good this year or whatever. And so anyway, the Black Friday drop happened and we both got the canvases that we were wanting. I was really happy with the purchases that I made. And he was, I don't even know what he got. He didn't really tell me. I know there were a couple that he expressed interest in, but I don't know if he ended up getting them. Oh, but I'll share my haul when it comes in. It wasn't a very big haul this year, but it was a haul nonetheless. I also got some of the paintings I wanted from Ever After. And I had already purchased from Captured by Radiance. Anyway, there were a lot of shops that were really on my radar with Black Friday. So I thought it was really fun. And then it's fun to hear what other people are getting to. I love hearing the excitement from other people about what they got and talking to people about the Diamond Art Club drop. It was just exciting because everyone was just so excited, and there's always, the thing is, you see a lot of comments, or at least I do, on the Diamond Art Club VIP Facebook group about, that Diamond Art Club doesn't have enough of a variety. Oh my goodness, I think they have a great variety. And then Cyber Monday hit, and I ended up getting a mystery box. I got a mystery box. I'm very excited to get that mystery box. I have no idea what to expect. There was a list of the artists, and that's kind of what I wanted a mystery box anyway, but the list of the artists really kind of got me got me thinking that I really wanted one. I apologize for my yawning. So yeah, I'm very, very excited to get those canvases and see them in real life. Of course, I don't really unbox anything until I'm getting ready to do it, but it'll be fun to have them. So that's the Black Friday and Cyber Monday excitement. Then on, let's see, Tuesday was the day that we were scampering around trying to get our application all in. And then Wednesday we had it all in except for those ESA notes. And Wednesday was the day I started losing my mind. And so that kind of got me in a state of stomach pain. And then today the stomach pain has been kind of continuing. I think it's, Pepto-Bismol helps a lot. So got to be grateful for the pink stuff. Let's see. As far as what I've been listening to. So like I said, Stranger Things is the only thing that I've watched. Now I've gone back and started watching a couple of the episodes from the last season just because there were a couple things I wasn't certain of. There is also a YouTube video. I'm sure there's many of them, but I've watched a few of them about predictions that people are making about what's going to happen in this season. So that's fun because I have no idea what could possibly be happening after the way they left this last episode. So it's just all fun, Then on today we had a cake and ice cream get together for the birthday boys. That was fun. My dad just really likes Joel, really likes him a lot. He tells me that every day. That kid is such a good kid. He's such a hard worker. It's cute. So, that's about it. What I've been listening to. I started an audiobook. As you can tell, I'm all over the place. I started an audiobook and it's another, I went and listened to Zero Night by Brian Freeman. I think that's the name of it, The Zero Night. That was a really good one. I like the Jonathan Stride novels. That is the last of the Jonathan Strides. I don't know if there will be any more. And then I started another John Grisham. And I listened to one called The Widow. That one was good. It was good. But today I wanted to start a new one by John Grisham because now I'm going through a John Grisham thing. I went through this a few months ago. The one I'm listening to now is called A Time for Mercy. Now, if some of you will recall a movie called A Time to Kill, I read that book before they put it into a movie. I absolutely love the movie. This is kind of a second parter to that, although the case is not the same. But the attorney that Matthew McConaughey plays is in this one again. And there's a couple of the same characters. But like I said, it's a whole new situation and a whole new case. I'm enjoying that a lot, actually. It's called A Time for Mercy by John Grisham. And I'm really into it, big time. I have not wanted to stop listening to it. I really like John Grisham's writing style. Now, I'll be honest, it's kind of one of those things I have to be in the mood for because it does get long, but I like the longer books in general. This one is a 14-hour book. It might be 14-hour book, something like that. I like the long ones because of all the character development and the story development. I really like that. So this is a good, really good book. But so that's what I'm listening to. As far as anything else, let's see. I'm trying to think. I haven't really been watching anything else. I have watched a little bit of YouTube here and there. So that's always fun. I love watching YouTube. But sometimes it's just nice to unplug from everything and listen to an audiobook. I really love my audiobooks. But my stress level's really high right now. Really high, I'll be honest. I don't remember a time that I have been honestly this stressed. It's a lot. It's really a lot. If I'm a little scatterbrained, that's why. The one thing that I really enjoy and that helps me so much is diamond painting and this channel. It's such a positive distraction. And I'm so grateful to those of you who continue to tune in and care. I mean, I can't tell you how many comments or messages I get with people asking about the house, asking about how are things going, you know, asking about Fallon. Those things, that means a lot to me because those things are just such a stress to me right now. So I really appreciate the time that those of you have taken to check up on me and make sure I'm doing okay. I am doing okay. It's just a lot. It's a lot for my little brain right now, but we'll get through it. You know, it's going to be okay. Things will iron out, and I just have to remind myself of that. So it'll all be good. It'll all be good. Anyway, I'm yawning a lot, so I think that is telling me that I need to go to sleep. So I'm going to end here. But I want to express again my gratitude to each and every one of you. I appreciate your support and for you tuning in. Thank you so much. I hope you're all doing really well. Please let me know in the comments what you worked on as you were listening. I absolutely love hearing what everybody's working on. This is such a cute little canvas. I can't wait to get farther along so I can show you how cute I just love Distracted by Diamonds. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. It's Thanksgiving 2025. I just ate with Kennedy and Joel. We're at Nana's house in Kaysville. Got my little Fallon right here on my lap, and we are watching Stranger Things because it just came out last night. So we're gonna watch it. Kennedy is right in Nana's bed, all snuggled up. And we're just waiting for Joel so we can continue the show. Jones, it's your day to go get vaxxed. We got her in the backpack. A little mishap there for a minute. It's okay, kitty. It's okay. Toby is very concerned. It's the first snowfall this winter. We are on our way to the OB appointment. Joel couldn't make it. This is the second appointment I get to go to, and I'm so excited. So even though Kennedy would probably rather have Joel there, I'm very grateful for the days that he can't go.
Well, I like when my mom goes too.
Oh, look at this cute mom-to-be. We are 10 weeks?
10 weeks, 5 days.
Almost 11 weeks. Oh my gosh, that's exciting. It's a beautiful day.
It is. Today, I'm getting the test done, the NIPT test to get the gender.
That's right. So they're going to draw blood today so that we can find out what the gender is. And December 13th is the big gender reveal. And guess who are the only two people that get to know what the gender is before the gender reveal? Yours truly and Joel's mom. Yeah, I'm so excited. Now, can I keep it a secret? I better. Look at this ultrasound picture of your little niece or nephew. So you're looking down at it. So this is the top of the head. And its little arms are on top of its forehead. And these are the little feet. You can see the toes. Look at that. That's a side view. So there's the eyes, nose, and the top of the head. And the little hands right there. And then the feet. Look, it's a baby now.
Take a picture of me.
It's not a picture. Mom.
What? Oh, I got 4.
Are you happy that they came and worked on the bathroom today?
They gave me an extra for Thanksgiving.
Mom.
Thanksgiving?
I mean,
Mama. Mommy.
yes, I am.
She
So
looks like she's
lovely.
about to lose it.
How's your day going today, Mom?
Lovely.
Is it?
I have to stop at that dang place where they're doing all of the work. I've had to stop in line, take my turn, and I feel like saying, I'm an old lady. I should not have to stop.
Morin, did you go to?
For 6 years.
Look how stylish my mama is.
Oh no.
Nana, your outfit's really cute, but I just have to say I hate those shoes.
No! They're from Italy and I've worn them for 6 years. And
How
they're
does it
just
feel when you walk
It even
upstairs
looks cold
and
out
then
there.
instantly you're hit with an insult?
I am. You do that all the time to me. Is that what you're saying?
No, you do it to me all the time.
No, I don't.
Walked upstairs, you said those pants are hideous.
Well, I did one time because she's going to a party and they're wrinkled so badly that I just don't like wrinkles.
I just loved the sweats Kennedy had on yesterday with all the holes in them. That made me feel a lot
I'm
better
gonna go
about.
get those, and I'm either gonna put a patch on the butt or throw them away.
Will not touch my sweatpants. I just
Happy birthday, dear Joel.
Myron tomorrow.
Happy birthday to you.
Cha cha cha.
Happy birthday, Grandpa.
Happy birthday, Grandpa.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Myron, how old are you gonna be?
What?
How old are you gonna be?
I don't know.
He said 80.
Every time I say it's wrong, what, 85?
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
85.
I got it right that time.
Yes, you did.
And Joel is 24.
23.
23. I would just say, repeat what you just said
Well,
about people at Christmas time.
they are not even kind to old ladies because they want me to get out of their way. And I go, no, I'm not getting out of your way. You should be good to me. Old ladies need help.